Hello, this is Jeremy from Blue Water Climate Control. I grew up in Tennessee, and when I was 9 years old, the World's Fair came to Knoxville. I was in awe of the Sun Sphere. I dreamed of living in Knoxville. To me, it was the center of the world. After 24 years in the Navy, I've been around the world and visited dozens of countries. My family has moved all over. Now here we are running Blue Water Climate Control right here in Knoxville, the dream I had when I was just 9 years old. Blue Water Climate Control, veteran service, superior value.
Good evening, everyone. Hopefully I've got all the social media things streaming correctly. I believe I've got the issue with the Twitter fixed. So we will see if that's actually working now. Had to get in there and get access to that account. Good. Some people are saying hello. That means y'all made it, and I hit all the right buttons. Alexis is, of course, not available because of restaurant duty. We're probably going to have to either figure out a different time or a different day, or because right now it's just the poor empty spot and 2MC show. We got to fix that. Or line up more guests or something, because y'all got to be sick of listening to me. But welcome, everybody. I'm going to make sure we're streaming. Obviously, I'm going to get done in time. I know everybody wants to watch Chicago Sky this evening against the Connecticut Sun, with a lot of interest, of course, in the Sky because of Candace Parker and Diamond DeShields. Sky can close it out for a spot in the WNBA finals or have to go back to Connecticut for Game 5. So I know everybody wants to watch that tonight, which tips at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Donna said, Maria, do you have the link to donate for the breast cancer walk for the 17th? Yes, I do. Let me find that in all of my, I'm seeing Ghost Guy, Go Candace and Diamond. Yeah, I pretty much know where everybody here is going to stand. Let me see if I can find that link, as I am still raising money for that, of course, to make the fundraising for Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. I am a committee member, have been for the past, I believe, 6 years now, and am also raising money with a friend of mine who also is a breast cancer survivor. So would appreciate any contributions. Let's see if that works. We're called MM Pink Warriors. MM is actually named after, not me, but her granddaughter initials. So that's the reason for that. Donna says, I have a friend that was just diagnosed with breast cancer, plus donate for you, Donna. I'm so sorry about that. If your friend needs anybody to talk to, it's a very scary place to be. I understand that. You know how to reach me on social media, so let me know. I'm always willing to be there for anyone struggling with that, because it is very hard, and it's very helpful to talk to somebody who's gotten to the other side of it. So you just let me know. Obviously, want to thank our sponsors, Blue Water Climate Control. They are also who I use. Excellent work. OrangeMountainDesigns.com, of course. They have a new website, by the way. So if you haven't been to the website lately, go check it out. It features prominently on the homepage the NIL athletes. So that's really cool. Obviously, Alexis Hornbuckle basketball is another one. Let me just get them all up here. The Gold Standard with Jamel Johnson, Just Pass It Tutoring, and the Collective Unfiltered, which appears on Monday nights. I also, of course, want to find the t-shirt for this. That is the 2021 Breast Cancer Awareness t-shirt that Terry Holder has done at Orange Mountain Designs in coordination with the NIL athletes, Jordan Horsten, Tamari Key, Ashley Rogers, and Kiki Malloy. You can see the hat. That is the Fight Lady Vol logo hat. I have one over here. You can see it hanging up. If you can see the 37 jersey behind me, that's the hat with it. It says, Stay Strong, Kelly J. Harper. Everybody who buys a shirt, everybody who buys a shirt, that is correct, will be entered in a drawing to receive that autograph cap for free. The drawing will be held on December 16th. And Terry also is donating $5 of every t-shirt sold directly to Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. So now you've got all kinds of reasons to go to orangemountaindesigns.com. You got a new website, got a t-shirt to buy. You want to autograph Kelly hat. Speaking of Kelly Harper, obviously practice got underway Sunday. The players came back from a very short fall break and were able to get on the court Sunday evening. Some things don't change. Coaches have still got to be masked at practice. That photo was provided by UT Sports. That is Kelly Harper at practice Sunday evening with her team, saying something very important. You can tell by what she's doing with her hands that this is very important. She's trying to make a point. Probably mamas recognize that motion. So very exciting news, of course, for Lady Vol basketball fans, because once practice starts, that means we're getting awfully close to the first game. In fact, practice started October 3rd, and the first exhibition game, Patches says hello, will be November 3rd against Georgia College in Knoxville. So mark that on your calendars. Donna is getting people who are her friend Dina, people saying wishing her well. That will mean the world to her. It absolutely will. Renee said, I wore my t-shirt to the hospital vaccine clinic on Monday to get my booster. It was a hit. Great. That's the best thing you can do sometimes, is be a walking billboard for the places that you want to support, because people will ask you where you got that shirt. In fact, we had our final for this month, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Committee meeting on Monday out at Lakeshore Park. We're meeting outside, of course, to keep everybody from being in a room, because we have 2 cancer survivors on that committee. And I mentioned the deal about Orange Mountain Designs, and some people are going to go shop. And one person said, I love their stuff. I love the corduroy sweatshirt. And she buys them as presents for people, she said, including her mother and her grandmother. And I agree. Those corduroy sweatshirts are incredible. They are soft, warm. It's that's one of the best sweatshirts, I believe, the corduroy, and the little thumb hole in the sleeve. It's just an incredible shirt. Kathy said, what little we saw of Kean looked good. Was Marta there? I think I saw her in some of the practice video they put out. It's hard to tell because obviously I was not there. This was on Sunday, and then on Wednesday it was in the afternoon. So with my regular job, it would be impossible for me to be at practice, but I will ask that to make sure. I thought I saw her going by in one of the clips, but Kathy, that's a good question, because what I do now when I do get there, games, practice, whatever, is you count. The first thing you do is count, and now you got to find 14. And I remember when Dan Flesser and I would do that at practice, and they're all moving around, and we're trying to section off the court. Right, you count that half, I'll count that half, because it's the first thing you want to know is, did everybody make it? Renee said Marta has changed her body so much she's hard to recognize. She definitely did a lot of work in the off season, and hopefully her foot is not going to be an issue. I always worry about foot injuries. That it's a tough injury for a basketball player. I'm just speaking in general here, not about Marta. So I'm not making any comment about her status, but foot injuries are tough. Players do come back from them, but they can be nagging at times, particularly after surgery. I think any player will tell you, once you have surgery on some part, it's never feels completely the same. Whether it's your hand, your knee, an elbow. So hopefully Marta will cruise through this preseason. That's what you want. Good health. People ask me what's the key for Tennessee. It's the same. Good health. Keep people healthy for the people. There's going to be people get sick, or there's some kind of tweaked injury, but what you don't want are any of those catastrophic blows. Yeah, Patches likes that word, catastrophic. Trish said yes, she was there for the. That's right, Trish. Eagle-eyed Trish. I remember that now. I watched the taco. CJ's Taco, I think. Apparently it's very good. She did show her selection of tacos, and she clearly was dressed in practice gear, so that is good. Pat just said, did somebody say tacos? You probably want like tuna taco or something. But that is just good to see. Obviously, another big game. Speaking of Lady Vol sports, soccer is tomorrow against Florida. It's Thursday at Regal Soccer Stadium. It's also peak night for the soccer team, breast cancer awareness. So the soccer team will be in pink jerseys. I believe that's on an SEC Plus. Not on the regular network, but you will be able to watch it online. For softball fans, season tickets are on sale now. There's also a new feature out near, it's sort of like left field between left and center, where there's a porch out there and some seating where you can have special seating out there. So that will definitely be something to look at if you want somewhere different for seating besides the regular stadium or the bleachers. I know the bleachers are down on the other side. So that, and tennis, I believe tennis got rained out. So they're going tomorrow. Nancy said Patchy is always here. Patchy absolutely loves any video stuff I do. She is here for when we have staff meetings on Zoom. Patchy is there. Everybody knows her. She is just, I think part of it is she knows I'll sit still and pet her. But part of it is just she's a very social cat, extremely social cat. Kimberly said the reaction I had for my second COVID vaccine was something they call COVID toe. I thought I had gout and limped on it for about a month. Yeah, you can get some weird reactions, but what I think Kimberly's talking about is when you have a foot issue, it just affects everything. But particularly for a basketball, you're cutting, you're running, you're jumping, a shooter. It's just one of the worst injuries for about any sport, I suppose, but basketball especially. Donna said, paid for my softball season tickets. Softball is Friday night. That's right. They're still in fall ball. Mary into the show is wonderful with just you because you have great insight. Thank you, Mary. I feel like I'm just talking into the ether, but I'm glad I get to interact with y'all via chat. Sunday soccer game against South Carolina is on ESPNU at 2:00. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you for staying 2 games ahead. I'll look at the next one. That'll be a fun one to watch. I think last Sunday I was flipping around between the sky. Why are you biting me? We're just talking about how sweet you are. Flipping around between the sky and volleyball. Volleyball, man, they came so close. They almost took that 5th set, but it's hard to go undefeated in the league. And now, all right, you get a little hungrier because you got tagged with that first loss in the league. Volleyball is doing very well, 12-3 overall, 9-2 in the SEC. Now, volleyball got set up really well early by the SEC because they played at home. They had like multiple games at home. Of course, what that means is you're going to have a road stretch coming up, and that is exactly what's going to happen. Volleyball will be at South Carolina on Friday and Saturday. Then they have to go to Georgia for 1 match, to LSU for 2 matches. They will not be back home until Kentucky on October 27th. So that is one heck of a stretch for volleyball. Sometimes coaches have said that road games, you got the team confined and everybody's focused on that particular game. That can be especially helpful with young teams sometimes. That's why young teams play better on the road sometimes than at home, because the coaches have them under their control the entire time. But it's a tough stretch for volleyball because that's a lot of travel, and right here in the middle of fall semester. Amanda said Eve Rackham Watts team has so much experience and they are number 7 in the RPI. They really do. I am hoping for a great season for them in the SEC and postseason, because volleyball doesn't have an SEC tournament. So you either get in the NCAA tournament or your season's over, and would absolutely love to see Tennessee in the NCAA tournament. Tion, if I'm saying that right, I apologize. Can you give us any info on TK? TK's looking good, I believe. Let's see if I have. See if I have some photos. UT Sports sent out some practice photos. There we go. There's TK headed to the rim. She is obviously a key player, no pun intended, this year. I think she's finally acknowledging she's 6'6" too, which is good. She didn't grow an inch. She just decided to acknowledge she's 6'6". She's pushing 6'7" too. She is obviously a critical player for Tennessee with that size, that skill. Hopefully what you'll see too is what happened with Ray Burrell from sophomore to junior year. Hopefully you'll see that with all the juniors now, that you just elevate as an upperclassman. You go to that next level. Ray Burrell went from a reliable player as a sophomore, steady player, but not that much of a proven scorer game in and game out. And of course, she changed that and is, I think, 16.8. I know she's the highest returning scorer on the squad. And then obviously with Renaya Davis you had a 1-2 punch. So the big question for this team is where's your 1-2-3 punch? Kelly likes this team because it is so deep. She is realizing that she's got a lot of options. So she is particularly happy about that. Here's two of the newcomers. That is Alexis Dye with the ball. She's one of the 3 graduate transfers on the roster. And then she is going up against Sarah Puckett, who is a freshman. That's Sarah on the left. And I mean, Kelly, if you listen to Kelly's media availability yesterday, you heard her rave about Sarah Puckett and her skill level, and said that if you were to walk into the gym, you would not know Sarah was a freshman. That's the rep she came in with, and she is a gym rat. Kelly said all of the freshmen are, and Kelly appears to be recruiting a team, I won't say in her image, but very similar to her mindset in terms of how much is at stake and how much it has to mean to you. She's also very pleased with Kaya Wynn and Caroline Striplin and Brooklyn Miles. She said Brooklyn is small, but getting a very defensive, feisty mindset. Kaya, Kelly had talked about her before. She's just she's fast and athletic and very high basketball IQ, which is what you want at the guard spot. Jordan Horsten is another player that Kelly said had a good summer. Now, I've often said too, it's preseason. I mean, you better be upbeat. You better be positive. I've never heard a coach come in and say, well, we're not going to be very good this year. I don't know what we've got. I mean, coaches are cautious always, but everybody is happy in preseason. It's one, they've had 3 practices. If they practiced Monday, so that would be, you've had 3 full practices. So there's so much to learn, and the season rolls in so fast. And then once it starts, it's just one after the other. And it's a lot, particularly for newcomers, to take on. So the advantage for Tennessee this year is that Kelly finally has a balance of youth that she can play when they're ready, and upperclassmen that have experience. You've got obviously Ray Burrell, Tamari Key, Jordan Walker, Kean Green coming back, because Kean has a boatload of experience, and they missed her voice, missed her leadership. So really hoping that Kean will be healthy and ready to go. But Kelly was in a great mood yesterday. She loves this time of year. I mean, what basketball coach would not? If you don't love it, you're in the wrong profession. So it's exciting. It's rolling fast. And part of me goes, how did we get to October? But here we are. So let's make the best of it. Kimberly said, I know this is Lady Vols, but what do you think about the alternate black uniform for the football team? Kimberly, I almost jotted that down on my notes to ask, so I'm glad you brought it up. I love them. I love those alternate jerseys. I know the players have to love them, and that's a benefit because the players will be hyped. I wish the game wasn't at noon. I'm so tired of these noon games. It's just not a time for me yet to be thinking about football. But the Ole Miss game will be a night game the following weekend, so that will be great. But I absolutely love them. Some people don't. I remember when they wore those gray ones when Lane Kiffin was here, and there were people on social media message boards talking about how they got up and walked out of the stadium. I'm like, over a uniform color? Really? But I don't know. Some people are traditionalists, and I get it. You want that orange or you want that white. Y'all are chatty tonight. I'm trying to find everything. Kathy said in the Ray mic'd up video, sounded like Ray called Sarah by a nickname, but I couldn't quite understand it. You know what they call her? No, I do not. I'll have to go. It may be Puck. Boy, you gotta say that carefully, don't you? I don't know. They all end up with nicknames. Nobody uses their full name once they get on a team. So I will. I'll have to listen. Kimberly said we have some great buzz going on surrounding the program. We really do. I just to stay in the football vein for a minute. I'm watching that first game. I'm like, I have not been this encouraged about Tennessee football in a long, long time. And that wasn't because I expected them to dominate or win the SEC East this year. There is going to be growing pains. You don't lose that many players to a transfer portal in football, including so many key defensive players, and there not be a long climb back in the SEC. But I mean, this coach has them believing they believe in themselves. Even when they've struggled against Florida, they didn't just cave. They didn't just give in. I mean, we've seen that in the past. They kept fighting. And this offense, my God, Josh Heupel could get me open somehow. I couldn't catch it, probably couldn't collapse before I got down the field, but he could probably run a play that would get me open. So I love watching this offense. I mean, if you're gonna lose, at least lose putting points on the board. And man, did they score against Missouri? I had no idea why Missouri was a favorite in that game. I don't bet. That's one game I wish I did. I'm like, they were 3-point favorites. I just have never been a gambler, but in that case, I kind of wondered if I should have been. Kimberly said her high school teammates called her Sarah Buckets. I like that. Bucket, Sarah Puckett, Bucket. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know. We'll see how Sarah does, but I see an NIL t-shirt in her future. If her nickname is Buckets, you could have all kinds of fun with that. See what else. Love the smoky gray. I did too much. I know, Nancy. I don't know. I just fed them. I let them out. They're just being... They just hear me in here, and it's like it's time to misbehave. Hooker is the real deal. Yes, he is. Whole vibe is different. Somebody else, who was that mentioned? I'm scrolling up here. Also, a lot of drama with the Atlanta Dream. I would say so. That is a bizarre story, and now it has cost two players their roster spot on the Atlanta Dream. I don't know why you would post that video to your YouTube channel. Like, people don't know that a player was the one who put it up. I don't understand that thought process, because that is not the attention you want to bring to yourself or your team. And this had happened apparently last spring and had been dealt with internally, and now it has amplified through social media echo chamber. And I don't know. And because the internet is forever, there are still Twitter versions of it up, because people just download those or film them off when it was up. So I think it's harder to find now, but it's going to still be out there. I always wish players well, and I hope this gets resolved. And I think there could be some other issues that a player needs to address with that kind of anger. Essentially, the video, Nancy, no, I'm not sure where the video starts in terms of what happened, but there was a day club and a food truck, and players went out to get some food, and a brawl broke out. I mean, with just fists flying every which way. Now, I don't know who said what, who threw the first punch. Kalani Brown, bless her, was the one person I saw on the video trying to break things up and hold people off. She was really in there trying to be a peacemaker. So TMZ picked up the video. I'm not surprised. I mean, women athletes brawling. That's in TMZ's wheelhouse, all of it, whether it's men or women, actually. So I hope everybody recovers from this, bounces back from it, and seek some clarity as to what is going on in your life that you might need to address, because that level of anger arises from different things. And some of those things can be very traumatic. And I would just hope that everybody involved can get the assistance they need and bounce back. People are asking what really happened with Kennedy Carter. I don't know. There was rumors of that too, that there was some type of altercation in the locker room. So obviously that team had some serious internal issues. It was clearly reflected in their overall record and performance on the court. And Renee Montgomery, I believe they changed GMs, changed head coach. There's a lot of things that need to be resolved, and that's hopefully what the offseason will do. Mary said, I don't understand why Williams would post that video. I don't either, but I'm speaking as a full-grown adult who could see that would end badly. I don't know if it was intended to portray some players as being victims. I don't know. I don't know. And I just hope everybody can land on their feet after this and get on with their basketball careers or the things that they want to do. But yes, social media is and all of it has been an issue for players since it's been around. And this generation coming up, the players on that team would be older than that. The ones entering high school now, basically, this is the only world they've grown up in. This is what they know. So it's something that needs to start at the young level and college level in terms of what you post and how you present yourself, because you become a public figure and there can be repercussions. Heck, but I'm not going to blame this on youth, because adults do the same thing on social media, post things that they end up losing their job over. And so it's not just, I'm not going to say that, oh, these kids, because adults do the same thing. Beth said, replying to Shatina, I think her girlfriend posted it, not Courtney. Well, that makes a lot more sense. I'm not sure why you would do that to your girlfriend, but so Courtney obviously had not the one making the decision there, which that's good, because I just didn't see how a WNBA player could ever think that was a good idea. And it also speaks to who has access to your phone and your social media accounts, because I make sure no one can post on your behalf unless you wholeheartedly and completely know that they'll make good decisions with your social media accounts. But we could talk about social media for a long time. I'm one to talk. I think I have 96,000. I'm not kidding. About 95,000. I don't know how many Twitter posts I have. So everybody has to be careful. But let me talk about our sponsors again. Oh my goodness, before I do that, Amanda, we're way off topic now, but yeah, this was a crazy week. Urban Meyer knows all too well about videos that don't want to be seen. Yet you act that way in a public place, there's a good chance somebody's filming it, and you're that recognizable. For those that don't know, Urban Meyer, apparently Jacksonville Jaguars went back to the state of Ohio to play a football game, and he stayed behind to spend time with family and grandkids, and ended up at a bar, and apparently there was some people wanting photos and to talk and chat, and next thing you know, bad decisions are being made, and there's a woman who is not his wife being very flirtatious and doing what appears to be some type of dance in front of him, very close to him. And quite frankly, just my opinion, I don't know how you survive as an NFL coach with that video. I don't know when it will happen, but I would be surprised if Urban Meyer gets through this entire NFL season without the Jaguars making some kind of change. You as a head coach, it's not college. You can't dominate the kids. You're not in that much control of your life. You yeah, dance. I was struggling for the word, Beth. I'm trying to remember. There could be children watching this show. You can't lose a locker room like that in the NFL as a coach. You don't. The power in that organization is the owner and the GM. And if you don't have the locker room as a head coach, then you're going to have a very tough road. So yes, everybody, adults, watch your behavior in public. And I'm not going to judge anybody, because I'm just grateful I didn't grow up in an era of social media. So I'm not going to say anything about anybody who gets caught in that blender, but just be careful. Be careful, and just assume everybody anywhere you go has a phone and can put video of you out doing something. And if you're recognizable, that's even worse, because all eyes are going to be on you. Now I'll talk about our sponsors, OrangeMountainDesigns.com. Let me find my graphics, my little help here. OrangeMountainDesigns.com, our favorite place to get our Lady Vol gear. They have a new website. Please go check it out. Also, got to get the whole little sheet to help me here. There we go. Alexis Hornbuckle basketball, just pass it tutoring, the gold standard, performance sports training, and of course, Tap 40 Grill in Powell. Alexis has her own pizza named after her. Apparently, it's quite good. If you're ever out that way, it's on Powell off Emory Road. You can't miss it. It's right off the interstate, I-75. Somebody asked, where is Alexis tonight? I believe she is busy with restaurant duties. She somehow got a weekend off based on her social media, and I bet she is grinding it out in the restaurant now. So, speaking of former Lady Vols, the twins, Mez and Lucci, turned 4 months old yesterday. So, of course, I had to ask Nikki for a new photo, and this is what she sent me. Worth the wait, I believe, is what that says. They are just adorable. Look at little, obviously, Chalucci, the smaller one on the left there. He is the one who is playing catch up to his brother. There's Mez, who looks like a grown man at this point. As a 4-month-old baby, he looks like 3. And I think he's going to be 6'10", just looking at those legs. I mean, I don't know, power forward, linebacker, running back. I don't know. Quarterback, he could just do anything he wants. But that little face, I just love these boys, and so glad that Nikki's doing well. As you know, the expenses just roll in. Roll in. It's just never ending. So if you can, always please help Nikki with if you have anything, or if you don't, just share it. Just share it with your community or your family or your church. Just because other people, I know most people here have given. So if you can, just amplify the message. Kathy said he's got a belly though. He does. Nikki said they got healthy appetites now, and it's funny because apparently I was a butterball as a kid, as a baby. And it was a running joke in the family, I heard later, of just how plump I was, like rolls on rolls on rolls. And then I hit about 4 or 5 and it all dripped off of me and I became this wiry little kid. But apparently I had a belly like that, and just, I don't know. I don't know. I've never had a baby, so I don't know why some of them come out so big and then get big, and then all of a sudden everything just changes. So he could end up 6'10" and 250, or 6'10" and 300. I just he's going to be, both of them are going to be an athlete of some kind. Now that you said that, I got to go back and look at that little belly. Hang on a minute. I got to find that again. Where's that little belly? Yeah, apparently I wasn't that tall, obviously, unfortunately, but I was a very round mound of baby. So, but what precious little babies. I think that is everything I've got. It's 7:30. If y'all got any more questions, I know everybody wants to see the WNBA game, so I do not want to keep y'all from that. Karen said, when is your new book coming out? I don't know. I have to write it. I have to find a free moment in my life. I have to find all that energy I had before. Beth, I have been collecting stories about Lady Vol stories. I have a drawer full of notes and recorded interviews, and I've got to get it done like I got the other one done, or win some kind of lottery. So that's all I do. But I didn't play the lottery, so I guess I'm going to have to start playing it to win. But so it's out there. It's in the ether of my mind. Unfortunately, more of it's in the ether of my mind than is physically on my screen. But I am working on it. And Denise said, I'm checking in. I am at work. I am working on it periodically when I can get back to it. And it needs to be done because the stories are tremendous and I don't want to lose them. And I want it in book form because while the internet's a wonderful thing, that's how we're all on here tonight. It is the permanence of it. I want something you can hold. Paper. I'm still a paper person. Kimberly said, have you heard if anyone besides Kyla will be on campus this weekend? I have not heard yet. I will obviously keep an eye on it. I don't expect any other 2022s, of course. Talasia Cooper's already been here. So that is, no, I mean, I believe she still has Georgia to go, and then she should be making a decision sometime in October. I believe November, 7th through 14th? I think I've got that right. It's a week for the early signing period. So players who are high school seniors now can commit and sign early. It's Kyla Olaker. Olaker. It's pronounced like Olaker. Occur, like something occurs, maybe. I believe I'm saying it right. Kyla Olaker. If she commits here, I'll have to interview her and get her to say it repeatedly so I can get it right. You could see that she's been to Miami, I believe Florida State. I don't think she's a native of Ohio, and I could see why some of those warm weather programs would be an appeal. She may, I believe she lives in Ohio, but I don't know of any real long time connection to Ohio. So because I wondered about Miami and Florida State just because of the Florida and the warm weather and the water. And so maybe Tennessee can, hopefully I believe it's supposed to be nice weather this weekend. I've always thought some of these recruits need to go visit some of these really cold weather schools in like December, and then don't do it in September when the weather's nice. Go up there when we can't feel your fingers and you feel like you're gonna like not find you till the spring thaw. I remember going to Notre Dame for Pat's last season, and it was one of those just bitter Notre Dame South Bend nights, and I thought, well, I've got to keep walking across campus because they won't find me till April if I fall. So Kimberly said Aaliyah Del Rosario transferred to the Webb School in Bell Buckle, Tennessee. Thank you for that clarification. She seemed to have confused some of the recruiting services because one of them had her at Webb School in Knoxville, and I'm like, no, she's not in Knoxville, so that would make sense. I noticed something on her social media where she was talking about Webb School, so glad to know where that is at. She is for those that don't know, she is a post player in the class of 2023, and obviously will probably be a very coveted recruit by a lot of schools because true post players are gold now. There's just not that many of them. Everybody wants to be Candace. They want to be a point forward, which is great. Dream big, but you can't be Candace without Candace skills. So you better work on your game, all of it, especially your ball handling. So Candace, everybody, positionless basketball. Y'all heard that term. Players who are those low post, get in the paint and grind players are gold now, literally gold, because there's just not that many of them. I believe Tennessee's looking at 2 of them in the class of 2023. I got that list out last Saturday night, Sunday. It's there's 20 kids that they're looking at in 23. Now that can change. Players can be added, fall off, commit elsewhere, have different lists. That's just, it's a snapshot in time. I always tell people that. But I will let everybody get through their evening. I will go find out if Gus's new bed survived the bedlam out there, and hopefully we'll get Buck back in here soon. As always, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being Lady Vol fans, and thanks for the great chat tonight. And I will see you guys in a week. Maybe it'll be just me, maybe not. We'll find out. All right, guys. Peace.